Yeah. All right. Good morning, Principal Nooner. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Ms. Sito. Thanks for
Hi,
having me.
absolutely. So I know you have been participating in Trident United Way's Days of Caring for several years now and have learned so much over the course of your time with us. So first, just tell me how long it actually has been that you have hosted Days of Caring projects.
We've hosted 15 days of caring projects, 9 of them at at Gregg Middle School and 6 of them at Windsor Hill.
So you, I'm sure, like I mentioned, have learned a lot, and so that's what you're
Mhm.
going to share with us today. So can you just give us a rundown of those lessons learned, some of those best
Sure.
practices that you have found really make a successful Day of Caring project?
Well, I would say number one, organization and communication are key. Have a really good, well-communicated plan, what your expectations are, what your needs are. That's got to be where you start. That's got to be detailed and communicated. And I would say meet with a team leader ahead of time. And if at all possible, have them do a site visit to where they can lay eyes on the project and really see what the needs are. This can often help with people that are particularly skilled for what your needs are. And it can also help when you're trying to locate equipment that may be difficult or tools that may be difficult to get a hold of. Sometimes companies or volunteer groups can have some things that you may or may not have, so it helps. So definitely have a clear plan for any equipment and supplies. And I would say on the actual day that they come to work at your site, make sure that you have everything staged ahead of time. You don't want to be just pulling out supplies and getting ready when people are already there. You want to have them everything ready to go to where you maximize every minute that they're there with you. I would say when they first get there, if you can try and take a group picture, I think this is really important for them being able to celebrate all of their hard work. And it's win-win for both the company or volunteer group and your school to be able to celebrate and appreciate what they've done. And I've always liked my kids, my students, to be able to see the group that was there, that helping them, because I think they felt it made them feel good when they could see that the community was taking an active role in their environment. In my case, their school. I think the kids felt really good about that too, and it also helped them respect the school building when they could see that the community took that much time and cared that much to work to make it a really nice place for them. I said have a plan for more work than can be completed, because sometimes you'll get a group that's really hardworking, really proficient, and they'll get through everything that you had originally planned. I always had a few backup projects ready to roll if they finished early, that I could give, because people want to do everything that they can, and they want to feel good about the day. And if they finish everything in a couple hours and they've still got more energy, you don't want them to feel like they didn't accomplish everything they wanted to too.
And take
Uh,
advantage of their time too, right? And
oh
their
yeah, definitely.
willingness.
Definitely. I would say consider having radios, especially if you have a big project or if you have a project that's spread out around a large campus. There was one year where I kept track of the amount of steps that I had taken, just trying to keep everybody in work and really managing the project. I had 31,000 steps one year. And after that year, I decided that it would be really good if I could place a radio in the hands of somebody basically taking the lead of each part of the project on the campus, and that
I
helped
was
out a
I
lot.
was just about to ask you that. Do you enlist the help of other staff members to like
I
as co-team leads or co-project hosts there with you?
I do. One of the things that I'll do is I would always enlist my maintenance man,
Mm.
and a few other people that are pretty handy or that know the project well, and I would get them to wear a particular school shirt. Or if they didn't have that, I'd give them a United Way Day of Caring shirt. But the school shirt worked well because we stood out.
Mhm,
And they knew, like right now I'm wearing a purple Windsor Hill shirt.
mhm.
Not hard to find this, you could stand out well that way. That way they could get help immediately if they needed something. I've always had access to all the school's tools and supplies, and or if they had any questions, that always helped. One big thing that I would say, if it's at all possible, the company's not going to tell you this, or the volunteers aren't going to tell you this, but I know they appreciate this from my experiences. I always try to enlist the help of our parent teacher association and would ask them to provide lunch during the day of caring. It's kind of one nice way that you could say thank you to the group that was volunteering, and also kept them here at the school so you didn't lose some of your workers when they stepped off campus. And it could make it to where um, that you could have a lunch that wasn't quite so spread out. Everybody come in, have the lunch already, they sit down, they eat, and you're right back to work. I would definitely provide plenty of water. Now that we're in November for our day of caring, it's a little better, but I remember back in the days when we were early September for a day of caring, it got pretty hot. Even though it's a little cooler, I would still provide plenty of water to keep our volunteers safe and happy. And that way they're able to keep focused on work and the things that they're trying to accomplish. I would also communicate a plan for cleanup, how to clean up. One year, I didn't do that very well, and to no fault of anybody, when people were finished with things, they put stuff down, and I ended up having a pretty big mess to clean up, and that was kind of tough. So always communicate a good plan to clean up, and then I would say make sure you do a really good job celebrating the work that the volunteers do. You have a great opportunity to build a strong relationship. I've had plenty of folks that have come back for multiple years. One group in particular, the Navy Nuclear Power Training Command, they came back to me at Gregg at least 5 years, and they completed some pretty big projects. At Windsor Hill, Bosch has come back a couple years for me. And, at that point, they know the school, they have ideas, and they have some things that they can help contribute as well. So that was always nice when the same groups would pick up your projects because you had developed a nice relationship. And it's a nice way. I would suggest putting a thank you up on the school website, or do a school newsletter where you mention the fact that they've helped you out, and maybe some of my community that they've helped serve can then return that favor and respond by using those businesses too.
Mhm.
That-
Well, I'd certainly say that you're an honorary volunteer manager because you just provided some really great best practices from the beginning to the end of a volunteer experience. And but not only is it great for the volunteers, but it's also a great experience for your school, as you mentioned, with your other staff and with the students involved. It just really helps to illuminate the need and why the volunteers are there, and especially if they get to glimpse eyes on the students that they're impacting. Just all around some really great stuff for people for others to consider as they're putting together their plans for days of caring.
I can tell you that my faculty, staff, my students, my parents, everybody feels great after you have a really wonderful day of caring project where they can see that the school's improved, and makes you really feel appreciated, and thankful to have such a nice community and have that kind of support.
Well, again, thank you so much for your time to share with us so that others may learn from your experiences, your lessons learned from things you won't do again, such as leaving all the cleanup to yourself. Um, we know that there are longtime participants out there, and we are happy to and love hearing from them and hoping that others will take some of this advice and incorporate it into their own planning for this year. So we're excited to see what you come up with at Windsor Hill this year. But again, just thanks for sharing with us today.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sito. I sure do appreciate it.